Can we make that look any better? Stick around, because we're gonna try. Happy Independence Day. We get extra garage time this week. Last week, we poked around with this 350, and that got me excited to keep poking around with it. Hold up. The 4th was on Thursday. It's now Saturday morning. The parts that I was waiting for so we can get that thing running, well, they're not here. They won't be here till next week. So we're gonna start making the cover panel that goes over this core support. We got some poster board here to make a template. We got some 1/4 inch round rod I think we'll utilize. I think that's 1/4 inch. Yep, 1/4 inch. Got some sheet metal back here. Got a bead roller. Might end up using that too. Who knows? We have no plans. But I figure instead of sitting around waiting for parts at the beach or something, we're gonna continue on with something else. Although a day sitting at Siesta Key doesn't sound too bad. I'm thinking if we cut this in half, it'd be a good start. All right, from fender to fender on this is 48 inches. So I taped those two pieces of tag board, poster board, whatever. I taped them together at 48 inches. We're gonna have to work around this prop rod hinge thing. But that's no problem. This prop rod comes out super easy. So we might leave this cover panel where we have to take the prop rod off to get the panel off, but we'll see when we get there. The fender drops down like this, and I don't want to just leave that. I want to cover that up too. So I'm thinking, what if we bend it from this point here to right before the hood hinge? Yeah, then we'll come up with something to just kind of cover that. You can kind of see the top of this fender has a body line in it. So it'll be like it carries that down the fender and around to the other side. Just like everything else we've been doing here. Actually, if we bent that at an angle like that, it would just look funny because this line comes here and then it would go that way. Now I wouldn't like that. So what if we did this? What if we continued that curve of that body line and then went straight over and then just did a radius right there over the hood hinge? And I think we could just get away with eyeballing this. Actually, if we just went straight, it would work. I'm gonna end up making this way too complicated. I think all we need to do is connect this line to that line. So it'll be kind of a long arc across the front. We'll start there with this template and see what we could do with that. And I got that folded in half so we can cut both sides at the same time. And it makes sense to me. I'm just gonna do my best guessing and eyeballing this. It's only a template. All right, we'll toss this back on there and see how that looks. Well, that fits pretty good. Had to open it up here on the prop rod, but I'm gonna like that. On both of these fenders, I got this little spot here where I had to kind of trim it. So I think from those points, we'll put a radius in this kind of like that. So looking down from here, it'll kind of match our fender. Maybe. I think we need a wider radius than that. Maybe this wheel spacer? This is why we make templates. We'll try that. If we don't like it, we redo it. I don't like it like this. I think this is why. It's too big. It's too wide and it's too straight. I'm thinking it just needs to go straight across right about there. That'll give it a little rounded overhang, just a 1/4 inch over this. And then maybe space our reservoir out so that way we don't have to put a little radius in our cover panel. I think maybe that would be the way to go. It's better. And you know what? It can't get any better than that, because we can't go back any further than that. Our radiuses here have to change, obviously. So here's what I'm thinking. Instead of having a big straight line there, we start our curve here like we planned, doing the long, kind of a long one. Just put a little curve in it on the whole thing. Yeah, I think I could be happy with that. Let's cut that out of metal. Between Jennings and Jones. Yeah, I could live with that. So we'll take our 1/4 inch round rod here and we're gonna weld it to the front edge of that. And that'll give us a nice, strong, rounded edge on that. But we gotta get these curves in it. So here's the crazy DIY at-home metal fabrication oddness I came up with. I clamped the same radius into the vise that we used to come up with that curve. I clamped it in there with a round rod. What are the chances we could just bend this over it? Worked. So I'm going to work my way around this, tacking this sheet metal to this round rod just like this. This one piece of round rod isn't long enough to do the whole thing. So I bent another radius. And of course we would be tempted to put a seam right in the middle. We'll body work that so it's not going to be obvious that there's a seam there, but just in case, we're going to put the seam right here, right behind that coolant overflow, so that way there's no chance of the seam being obvious, because number one, it'll be body worked, and number two, it'll be kind of where there's a lot going on. Okay, I think that's actually going to work for us quite well. There's a couple things. One, I'm going to trim it down to keep it on the inside of the fender. Two, these front corners, they need to either get cut off or bent down because they're hitting the hood right about here. The other big problem I'm having is this prop rod where it holds the hood up. It's hitting right here, right about there. Well, that's actually not a huge deal for me because I think what I'm going to do is trim this down. So that'll move that up a little bit. And the only thing that's going to do is when the hood is all the way up, it's just going to be at a little bit of an angle. Right about there. I'm not worried about that. But I think I'm also going to add another hole. So that way I can prop it open about like that. I just think that'd be cool at a car show, not having the hood all the way open. It would just be halfway. Give it kind of a sleeker look when it's sitting there. Besides that, if it's a windy day, this thing's like a sail. Having it down a little bit on those days will help. Not like there's really a lot of days like that around here, but could happen. I mean, it is a little cloudy today. It's about that time of year. About 4:30, 4 o'clock, it'll rain like you never seen before. We get about a whole year's worth of Wisconsin rain in about 10 minutes every day at about 4 o'clock. Another thing I want to do is do something cool in the middle. I'm thinking I want to grab that look from the inside with the red and the black speaker grill, but I don't want to do circles again. I don't want to do dimple dyed holes. I think I want to do a rectangle with rounded corners. Right here, about the size of the engine. You guys know what a rectangle with rounded corners is called? A rounded corner rectangle. Really, look it up. I tried to be smart with you guys, but Google wasn't playing along with me. Actually, you know what? This is the original piece that went there. Now, I'm all about keeping some of the original LUV here. Maybe this is a good way to do that. What if we graft this into our panel? See where I'm going with it? Taking other parts of the truck and using them in something else and creating a whole new look with the original pieces. That's kind of cool. I mean, that's what we did with these inner fenders. Those are louvers off of a Model A hood. They weren't originally off this truck, but whatever, same idea. I kind of like that. Yeah, I think we're going that route. And yeah, sure, we could use a bead roller and put that in there, but no, there's just something about using original parts. Plus, I'm really no good at that bead roller. Phew, it is hot this weekend. Maybe that beach day would have been a good idea. Yeah, we're having fun with this. So I trimmed this piece out and I traced it onto our panel right where I think it should go. That sweet tea on a hot day, whew, that's good stuff. Like this cutoff wheel, good to the last drop. When you don't got much money to play with, we get our money's worth. That's for sure. Welder up. So like always, when we're welding sheet metal, we take our time and just do a tack, move over to the other end, do another tack, move in the middle, do a tack, and then we start stacking tacks. We go right next to the last one, do a tack, move over here, stack a tack there, stack a tack there, back over here, stack a tack, let it cool down and do something else. Come back, stack a tack. If we weren't taking our time like that, this sheet metal would heat up way too much and warp. And we don't want a wavy cover panel over our core support. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is hot work to be doing today. Big chunk of ice just slid down that cup like a slide hammer, smacking me in the face. The other thing you want to do is set up your welding on a piece of wood. It'll be all right. And you know what? If it's not, it'll make good content for you guys, right?
Nothing to see here.
Raining. 4 o'clock already? There's just not enough time on the weekend, guys. Oh well, just keep plugging away. Oh man, like I didn't have a big enough mess already. Holy smokes. I'm grinding and welding in this heat, this sucks. But we do what we do because it's fun to see that hard work come together. Still got lots of work to do on it. We gotta trim these edges. I don't know what we're gonna do about this front edge, but I love that. That looks great. Super happy. I'm glad we grafted that piece in there instead of doing a rounded rectangle. I mean, that would have been cool too with the black grill material in it like that. But I like that way better. It's hot roddy. Now the question will be, paint or this bed liner? We'll sit on that for a while. I think if I want to get back to working on that engine, I'm gonna need to clean this mess. What a disaster. Hey, you know what Ed Big Daddy Roth always said? Big mess, big success. It means if you got a big mess, you've been busy. We may not have done what I was planning on doing, but I'm super happy with that, and I'm glad we did it. What do you guys think? Thanks for coming by and hanging out with me. You guys are great. LTsCustomGarage.com for cool t-shirts and my pinstripe art. See you out there.